Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Eric here from E&M Guns. Been a while since anybody's talked about gun safety. Let's chat.
Gun ends up shooting herself. She was testing out the weapon this afternoon at Centennial Gun Club. Arapahoe County deputies say a hot bullet casing went down her shirt, and when she reached for it, she shot herself in the hand. Now, she's going to be fine.
So on Saturday, when I went to go buy that multi-tool, I came across a scene where a couple police cars were taped off an area, and come to find out, a gentleman unloading his gun had shot himself in the leg. I haven't seen any official news on it yet, but what I'm reading from Facebook groups is that the elderly man succumbed to his injuries. So my condolences to the family for your loss. But it brings me back to the topic of gun safety, the number one thing for owning a firearm. There's 5 rules. There's 4 universal, and there's a 5th one. And I'll go over those 5 rules with you. And, you know, the difference is, I'll play a couple little clips too, so you guys can kind of see that it's not an epidemic, but I mean, it's something that's just so easily forgotten. You know, you get out there and you just, you don't think, this is why gun safety first top of mind when you get out to the range is gun safety. I mean, that needs to be on your mind. Those 4 rules, they're posted at most ranges, but you need to rehearse them yourself and keep in mind. We'll see, even some of the pug ranges I've seen, we'll see someone's finger down here on the trigger when they're grabbing their gun. I do a lot of dry fire practice. I do a lot of dry fire practice with my holster. As you can see, I don't know if it's blocking or not. I can't really tell. But as you can see, and I've got the slide locked open, so I know this weapon is perfectly safe right now. There's no magazine in it. Chamber is completely empty. But you don't want to draw your weapon and have your hand or your arm or anything in front of this muzzle or in front of this barrel. So let's go over those 5 keys to gun safety. First of all is knowing the condition of your weapon. So you treat every weapon until you have locked the slide back and you physically check the chamber as if it's loaded. So that procedure looks like this. As you can tell, the mag is loaded. So right now I'm going to point this gun in an upward position, safest area. I'm in a neighborhood. So I'm always going to drop the mag, going to rack it, and then I'm going to lock it open. And then I'm going to peer down again, pointing that muzzle in a safe direction, not putting anything in front of it. And I'm going to peer into the chamber. I'm going to physically touch it. And as you can see, it is empty. It's always a good idea to know what's around you. And keep in mind, I have seen people take their gun and rack it to the side. So they reach over the flesh of their arm, they flash themselves, and slide it. Or take it this way, pull it up their chest and rack it, and they're pointing down range. I'll put a couple of videos up there. International Practical Shooting Association, for their shooting, they have what they call the 180 line.
This is with a video with Grandmaster shooter John Bautista, where whenever you are facing a stage, a course of fire, okay, wherever you are at and you're facing down range, you have to imagine there's a line drawn right through your body here, and you cannot point your muzzle past that line. So basically, from here on, this 180 degrees.
And that 180 line is anytime you turn and you're past the 180 line where you're pointing 180 down the side of you, not down the range, you're automatically disqualified. It's a safety reason. So always keeping your finger off the trigger when you're grabbing it. Like I did probably 100, 150, maybe even 200 repetitions of pulling my gun out of my holsters Nothing, made sure I cleared it, checked it, and I dropped the slide. And I pulled that out of my holster several times to make sure that I'm pulling up and keeping my hands away from it. So when I go out to present, I'm on target. My finger's pointing at what I want to shoot. And then I move my finger down to the trigger. So I always got in the habit of putting my gun up here, my finger up on the slide. That way, there's no chance when I'm grabbing it tight, I'm not going to put my finger around and grab it like this. I've always got it up here. Now, that's handguns. What about rifles? So you have America's gun, the AR-15. This one, if you recognize, is chambered in 7.62x39 from Bear Creek Arsenal. How do you rack and load this gun in a safe position? So if it's firing down the line, you're going to rack it and check. And this one's kind of nice because it does have a side rack. Where most of your ARs and charging handles in the back. The same thing. Magazine's out. I would drop the magazine. Magazine's out. On the other side is the bolt catch. Hold the bolt open. Inspect it. Make sure it's empty. Put your finger in there. Make sure it's empty. Now you have a safe, unloaded gun. But AR is presented different. I've seen a couple people try to do this. They'll try to turn to the side to charge it. And I'll show you another clip where a young man over the 4th of July weekend lost his life. Guy was unloading his rifle, and I'm not knowing what rifle it is.
That left one person dead at a Nampa gun range over the weekend. The Canyon County Sheriff says 26-year-old Evan Chase died after authorities say he was accidentally shot in the abdomen by another man unloading a rifle at the George Nurse gun range on Saturday.
So that first rule is always treat your guns as loaded and know the condition of your gun. I walk away from the table and somebody comes up and puts a mag in it, racks one and sets it back down. I come up thinking it's empty. That's why you always check. If there's a mag in it, drop the mag, open the bolt, physically look in there. Number 2 is always keeping that muzzle pointed down range, away from anything or anybody that you don't intend to shoot. Remember, don't cross the 180 line. Rack your guns, especially your AR style guns. Point them down range. Reach up with your trigger hand. That way you know you're not near the trigger. Pull that charging handle back and then get in position to fire. Next one is ears and eyes. Your finger, even on an AR platform, keeping that so you can kind of obviously tell I'm got my finger away from the trigger. On certain ones, they have like a 3-pound trigger pull or a binary trigger or even a force reset trigger. So, you want to make sure you get in the habit of putting your hand, your trigger finger up until you're ready to shoot. I'm also getting the habit where I'm putting my guns on safe. Guys, I don't want to see any more accidental shootings. It kind of breaks my heart to see somebody accidentally discharge their weapon and hurt them or somebody they love. You guys have a blessed week. Love you. Peace out.